Welcome into a homecoming week edition of Fired Up, the weekly recap where we cover all things Carthage athletics. I'm Justin Corrigan, and this episode is for Monday, September 22nd. What better way to start off the homecoming week episode than to start with football? The Firebirds open CCIW play on the road, taking on number 1 North Central on Saturday. Offensively, Easton Hafner 7 for 14, 59 yards passing. Bryce Frank 8 carries for 25 yards on the rush. Gavin Betts receiving 2 catches for 25 yards, longest for 18 yards. On the defensive end, Mariano Talamantes 11 total tackles, leading the Firebirds on the defensive end. And as previously mentioned, this Saturday is homecoming as the Titans of Illinois Wesleyan come to town at 1 p.m. right here behind me on Art Keller Field. You're not going to want to miss it. Moving over to women's golf, the Firebirds kicked things off this week on Tuesday at the CCIW preview. It was a second place finish out of 6 teams for the team with a score of 327. Lexi Manifel and Ro Longden tied for 7th place, both carding 80 on the day. Then over the weekend, the Firebirds competed at the Midwest Classic in Kansasville, Wisconsin. It was supposed to be a 2-day event, turned into 1 day as lightning forced Saturday's round to end prematurely. The Firebirds took 5th out of 39 teams with the Friday scores. Lexi Manifel 8th place with 76 on the round. They'll return to action on September 28th and 29th as the Firebirds head to Wisconsin Whitewater for the UW Whitewater Fall Invitational. Moving over to men's golf, they also competed at the Midwest Classic and were also forced to just score Friday due to the lightning on Saturday. The team took 7th out of a 45-team field. James Traskell placed 3rd overall, shooting a 70, 2 strokes under par. The Firebirds will also return to action on September 28th and 29th, but they will head to Wisconsin Stout for the UW Stout Invitational. Up next for women's soccer, they took a 5-1 loss on the road at Lake Forest on Wednesday. The Foresters got started with a second-minute goal from Izzy DiStefano. Maggie Ballas added on for the Foresters in the 29th minute. Foresters took the 2-0 lead into the second half, where they added 2 more on in the 50th and 58th minutes, those coming from Annabelle Schroeder and Anna Hoffman. Firebirds got on the board finally in the 62nd minute as Ashley Gorder found the back of the net, and Hoffman put away her second goal of the game in the 66th minute to give the Foresters the 5-1 victory. Firebirds bounced back, though, on Saturday with a 1-0 win versus Knox at Art Keller Field. Emma Amberg scoring the lone and game-winning goal in the 18th minute. Ashley Gorder on the assist from the throw-in. Ainsley Stallworth 3 saves and goal as the Firebirds took down the Prairie Fire. Amberg's game-winning goal has made her the Jersey Mike's Women's Firebird of the Week. Jersey Mike's Subs is located at 3625 Market Lane in Kenosha. Visit them today or go to jerseymikes.com. Firebirds return to action on Wednesday evening as they head to UW Stevens Point for a 7:30 p.m. kickoff against the Pointers. Men's soccer on the road once again this weekend in Iowa as they took on Loris on Friday evening. That match was canceled halfway through due to bad weather. The Firebirds had a 1-0 lead in the 43rd minute when the game was called. Then the Firebirds returned to action again in Iowa on Sunday as they took on Dubuque. That was a 1-0 victory as the Firebirds picked up their first win of the season. Eric Sanchez, a 28th minute goal coming off an assist from Dominic Gadolinsky. Aaron Tay, 5 saves on the day, not allowing a goal in the shutout victory. Firebirds return to action on Saturday as they open up CCIW play down in Decatur against the Big Blue of Milliken. That's a 5:30 kickoff. Moving over to women's tennis, it was the ITA tournament in Minnesota. Firebirds competed in both singles and doubles, with singles leading the charge. Greta Peterson and Xingchen Liu both reaching the second round on Friday. Peterson would fall in the second round, but Liu would advance to the semifinals on a 5-1 weekend before falling in the semifinals and ending the weekend for the Firebirds. Back to dual play this week for the Firebirds on Wednesday as they host Elmhurst at 3 p.m. at Smeds Tennis Center. Women's volleyball kept rolling this week, starting things off with Jenna Damon being named the CCIW Defensive Student Athlete of the Week for her efforts in the week prior. Firebirds just had one lone game this week. It was the CCIW opener against Augustana in Tarble Arena. A 3-0 sweep for the Firebirds, 25-15, 25-8, 25-17. Firebirds got off to a fast start in each set and pulled away without much trouble. Kristina Manojlovic, 14 kills, hitting an impressive .636 hitting percentage on the game. Ava Detweiler, 21 assists, 11 digs, 8 kills. Tatum Kebasek, 16 assists and 3 service aces. Haley Wierzak leading the way at the net, 4 blocks, while Jenna Damon controlled the back line with 21 digs. Firebirds return to action on Wednesday as they head down to Naperville to take on North Central at 7 p.m. Then over to women's cross country, it was the Wheaton Gil Dodds Invitational at St. James Farm in Warrenville, Illinois. 9th place finish out of 18 teams for the squad. Jesse Pekaski once again led the Firebirds with a 35th place finish, finishing the 6,000 meter course in 23 minutes and 55 seconds. Rest of the scoring 5, Cameron Lau 24:03, Kylie Florence 24:26, Natalie Forward 25:03, and Virginia Litwiller 25:29. Firebirds get the weekend off before heading to the Wisconsin Eau Claire Blue Gold Invite in Colfax, Wisconsin on October 3rd. But just because the Firebirds aren't racing doesn't mean you can't support them. Be sure to sign up for the Firebird 5K this weekend for homecoming. That'll start at 8 a.m. just outside the Seabird Chapel on Campus Drive. Then over to men's cross country. It was also the Wheaton Gil Dodds Invitational. Firebirds took second out of a 20-field team, only falling short to U Chicago, who was number 19 in the country in this last week's USTF CCCA national rankings. But the story of the day was Jacob Kurlewski coming away with his second win of the season in his first at the 8,000 meter distance. 24:41 time, cruising to the finish with a 17-second lead on the second place runner. Jacob is our Jersey Mike's Men's Firebird of the Week. Once again, visit Jersey Mike's in Kenosha or go to jerseymikes.com. Rest of the scoring 5, Harlan Matson 26:18, Luke Davey 26:23, Chad Humke 27:08, and Sam Cernatech 27:26. Firebirds will also have the weekend off before going to Eau Claire for the Blue Gold Invite in Colfax. And once again, be sure to sign up for that 5K. No better way to start homecoming weekend than a nice run along Lake Michigan. And finally, as part of homecoming weekend, we'll be inducting the Carthage Athletics Hall of Fame class of 2025. Congratulations to the 4 inductees: Herman Abon, men's tennis; Matt Meneghetti, men's golf; Griffin Shields, men's volleyball; and former baseball head coach Augie Schmidt IV. And that brings us to our Pullman Auto Store's stat of the day. The 4 inductees combined for a total of 1,248 wins during their time at Carthage. Very impressive numbers there for our 4 inductees, and a great legacy they left behind at Carthage Athletics. That's going to conclude things here today on the Fired Up Weekly Recap. Have a great homecoming weekend. We'll see you next week. And as always, go Birds.